Wow, that was fast. It's 13.55 volts array. It took less than what? Less than a minute? No, I'm just kidding. I actually paused. So it was about a good 15 minutes. But you can see here, see how it lights up? It shows you like a little red light and then goes to orange and then green, sort of like a stoplight symbol. When it's solid green like this and stops no more, it's not gonna charge no more. So this battery here, that couldn't even charge with its own Charade charger at 10.5 volts because it was officially diagnosed as maybe 2 of the cells got damaged. Well, look at it now, 10.58 volts. Now I didn't swap battery on you, so I want to show you that this is the other battery right here. So, and also by the way, I left the lights on, and now watch when I turn it on. Here we go. I'm gonna turn the lights on. You can see how much it drains the battery. Here we go. I'm gonna flip the switch so you can see the switch there. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and so I'm gonna flip the switch. This is on position right here, and you can see how much it drains. Like real quick, it goes back down. See, like it's running down. And that was actually even charged, even with the lights on. I couldn't believe it. So it drains out. And these are LED lights too, by the way. You can see here how it's going down. It's stabilizing a little bit, but it's still going down because it's using some of it. So we're just gonna leave this on the charger real quick, but I just want to show you the other one that it charged. Again, it charged at 14.29 volts. I took it off. It discharged it back to about 13.99 volts. So let's see what the charge is like on it now. Let me make sure I take this off so it won't spark or chart anything. I'm pretty confident in my ground, but when you're adding more power to it, it might be a different story. Okay, let's go ahead and check out these batteries here. This is the new one that we put in just for a second, and we drained it to about 13.7. We stopped cranking the engine. So I made a thing that said the engine won't start. I mean, the engine will start, but it won't crank over. It's actually, it will crank, but it's not kicking over to start. So this is a starting issue still. And I believe we have to actually pretty much, again, drop the engine down a little bit so we can actually take the top end head off and check out our valve and timing. And if we need to, we'll need to break the chain and extend the chain because I think it might be too tight clamping on the thing. So this is still charging, but here we go. This is the other battery here. You can see here. Then we're gonna go ahead and put the test lead on there. See where it's at right now. Much easier when I had the plastic on there. Okay, it's clamping down. There we go. Look at that. 13.4 volts. Not bad, huh? It's still climbing. It's in negative right now because I have crisscross. Okay, let's look at this battery right here. So I get good contact there. It's fairly, you can see all the white acid coming out. That's a bad sign that this battery is almost about to be thrown away or discarded. Okay, so it's all hooked onto it. It's reading 2.62 volts right now. Okay, again, the most it ever actually held was about 7 volts. So we're gonna test it out now with this. I would like to show you when it's actually all green. That's when it's done charging though, but unfortunately time won't allow it. So that's good enough for us. Make sure the engine's back off. I always have a habit of keeping it on. So we're gonna take this off the lead. Watch when I take it off the lead. Look at that. It like changes the light. It automatically goes to off position almost. So it knows. It knows there's nothing connected to it. There's no point of keeping the power on. It's just pretty much what it says, a Genius charger. All right, so now we're gonna, here goes, here's a rundown on the Genius charger here by Noco. Sure, safe, memory, interactive, recovery, rugged, yeah it is. Canvas, I'm not sure what that means. But it comes in a nice box. There we go. Hands are slippery today. There you go, see there. The Genius charger right there. Recommend it by a good friend, David Bullock. He said, if you can't charge that Charade with the regular charger, the Genius will do it. And sure enough, it did it. So now here we go. We're going to go ahead and test out the charging. Okay, but again, this is a lead acid battery. It's not the normal, well, it's not the, it's not the lithium battery for sure. There we go. Look how the wires are short and convenient. Just really nice. And they also have little bolts right here where you can screw, bolt holes, I mean. You can just screw, you can see right through it. You can screw it onto your wall or anything like that and just have it permanently stationed there. You can also take off these terminal. A lot of things you can do it for it. And it's made small enough where you can actually clamp, especially on tight spaces like these. Most of the other ones, remember that one right there, the tower case one? Oh yeah, that was a doozy. So here we go. See how it can actually go. See how I can actually just go right in. Just clamp it, you know. Let's see what it says when it's connected. Okay, it's connected. It might go recovery mode, who knows. So we're gonna go ahead and put mode. Will it even attempt to charge it? Oh my god, look, I have it crossed over. Look at that, negative with positive, positive and negative. Yeah, see, it's smart. It actually knows, no, we're not gonna charge it until you fix that issue. Okay, so there goes positive, and there goes negative right here. Let me turn it around a little bit more easier. Now will it charge? It's almost dummy proof. Look at that, recovery mode. It's flickering between these two. Never seen it did this before. Doesn't smell like roast yet. Okay, so it's flickering. See if I can select another mode. I'm holding it down. There we go. Normal. Well, I would like to go with normal 12 volts. 3.5. It's a smaller one. So we might want to go normal, because it's 9 amp right here. This one's 3.5 amp. It's 12 volts, small. I assume it's small, but then this says 3.5 amp. So let's see which one's the best for it. Let's go with normal 3.5 amp, because again, look at this battery here. It says 12 volt, 8 amp hours. Take the scissors away just in case it ricochets or anything. Okay, we're just gonna leave it here, and let's see what happens. And we'll put our probe in there and see what it's doing right now to the battery. See the voltage on it. Okay. Put the positive here. See all that dielectric grease we try to put on there. Okay, it's still in millivolts reading. I'm not getting a good contact, that's why. Let me hold on to it. It's fluctuating. Very fluctuating. I know this is a good ground, I think. Okay, it's sitting on there now. It's doing something to it. It's fluctuating. Like it's doesn't know what it wants to do to it. I've never seen this before. It's going voltage, flickering back. Oh, let's see if I have a good ground. No, I still am. Everything's being pushed on. Okay, so it's flickering here. So we'll monitor it. We'll keep our probes in there and see what happens. See if I get it from the top. There we go. Yeah, it's flickering it, and this looks like it's doing something. Let's see if we can get recovery mode. You can't really push these, so this is the only button you can push. So I can go at normal maybe. 12 volts. It's a small battery, but it says 9 amp here. Kind of confusing me, but I'll go and hit normal here. And because I don't know if I can hold this down, it'll go repair maybe. No, you don't want lithium. You don't want lithium. There you go. Let's go repair. I kind of held it down and try to get to force to 12. I think repair at 1.5 amp. See the voltage here. Okay. So in the meantime, while I was doing that, I got my soldering hot. We're going to go ahead and create a ground wire here. So now we kind of get an idea. By the way, I forgot to mention these blocks here have a negative Phillips. Not negative. Not negative nor Phillips. It has a flathead. I was looking too much at that negative symbol. It has a flathead, so you're going to need like some kind of flathead small screwdriver like this one to be able to like tighten. Once you get the wires feed in there, you got to tighten it all the way, okay? So, and we're going to need some gauge wire here. We're going to use our 12 stranded gauge wire here. It's going to be smaller than our 10 gauge wire so far. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and serial it. We can tap it from here and continue on our route to meet up from here. That way you kind of see how I actually process this. Make sure you keep your iron higher. Yeah, these things are hard to easily grab, so I put them right here on my aluminum toolbox here. Okay, so first thing we'll do is let's put this charade back in here. Okay, we're gonna measure our wires. We're gonna not use this wire. This is our 16 gauge one. We're gonna use our 12 gauge one. The lower the number, the thicker it is, by the way. It's not the higher the number, the thicker it is. It's a little different in size. when it comes to wire gauge. So this is a 10 gauge wire, and this is a 12 gauge wire, and then this is a 16 gauge wire. You can see the thickness are so different. It's much more thinner. See that right there? Compared to the 10 gauge wire, and compared to the 12 gauge wire. Okay, so we're gonna use this wire here. It's a little bit, this probably wire can actually do the same as the 10 gauge here, but I chose to have 10 gauge just to be a little bit heavier duty. You don't want it too thick, by the way. You still want to be able to transfer your ground easily from the smaller wires as well. But I think 10 gauge should be okay. All right, but maybe even go for 12 gauge. Should be even better. So let's go ahead and open this. See how we get all apart here. Where's the start and where's the end? So it's a new pack here. They didn't sell any smaller at the hardware store. So I got the one. If you are gonna get something, make sure it says like good for like fuel and oil resistance. So these ones you can see here, it says right here, it says 12 gauge AWG, AWG 12, and then it says a lot of other things too. Nylon, and so it says oil resistance, gasoline resistance, oil and gasoline resistance right there. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. Rubber band and all, huh? All right. So we're just gonna go ahead and take a measurement of how much we need it. Probably not need that much. There we go. You can see here I'm looping it. It's going from there. If you have extras, you can always tie it down, no big deal. Let's kind of get an eyeball. We'll bring it all the way up. So I'm kind of holding it down here. Remember, the tip will take another half an inch for you. So you can curve it or not curve it. I choose to cut it like right there maybe. Should be good enough. You can see it. Choose to cut it right there. Kind of curved it. Given the calculation, I need to make sure I bend it over a little bit here. Your ground, you just don't want to make sure you bend it too much. You don't want your ground to break. These gauge wires are pretty hard to break. They're pretty thick. Okay, so you're going to need a good wire cutter. Just going to bring that over. Oop, knock my camera down here. I can smell the soldering heat now coming. Okay. Oh, I got to measure again, but that's okay. So let me go bring all the tools I need ahead of time. Excellent. Okay. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to use our cutter, and we're going to cut the wires. And we're going to wire it. Try to lighten it up for you. You can see there, we're kind of wire it from the rectifier to that point. So I'm going to take my measurements again. From the bolt here, give yourself a little bit, not that much slack, because again, the tips are going to take half an inch away anyway, or add on to half an inch, so you should be good. But just want to make sure, yeah, about right there. It's good. So right here, take your splicer, just cut it. This is not a good cutter, by the way. This one is. This one's a crimper, and the crimper also a splicer. This one right here. Look at that. See that one? It cuts the wire. You want to cut a good clean wire. You know, you don't want to have to force cut it because you don't want all the ragged edges. Look at that. Snaps right open. But this will work as a splicer though. So one good thing about it. Gonna spice the wires. Then it tells you right here 10 gauge, which is the thickest wire, 12 gauge. Again, this wire is 12 gauge, so we want to insert it. I'm sure you can see it. Let's see. This This is an old rusted one, but you can barely see it probably. See it? There we go. See that right there? That's 10 gauge on the very last. 12, 11. There you go. You can see it a little bit better now. See, it says 10 gauge on the very last teeth. 12 gauge, 11 gauge, and so forth. So that's why you know which gauge to use. So I'm going to use the second to the very last, very bottom. Okay, here we go. Cut the wires. Hi, where's your shoes? Okay. Okay, so you probably want to maybe cut it. Just I got to give it about a good, I think, a centimeter of distance right there. Oh, again, this is an old wire cutter. Probably you have to twist it a little bit. When you twist it, you kind of start seeing the wire come up. And here we go. Let me go ahead and... Okay, so we're going to have to twist it a little bit here. Yeah, it has a nice good coating on it. Just give it a good pull. If that doesn't work, you can go to a lower one and try to see if you can get it to bite a little bit more. So I'm going to 11 gauge one now. Okay, almost there. This wire is like a hard piece of wire. It's good for insulation, but it's horrible for cutting right now. Okay, see here. I'm pulling it in, even though it's off this much, it still won't even let me yank off. So let me go and try to put it on 12 gauge again. I'm going to try to yank it. Unbelievable. This wire is, it was harder to do than the 12 gauge one. So thick. Okay, we'll do this end too. Here we go. We're going to go ahead and do the end right here. And yeah, these gauge wires are amazingly, the insulation is more stronger than the actual copper thread inside probably. So here we go. We're going to do the 12 gauge again for this one. And we're going to go about a centimeter, because that's how much we're going to just push. A lot of people go an inch, but I think a centimeter should be fine. And it seems like this, since this is so old, I'm going to go with the 11th one. Get a little bit more bite on that insulation. There we go. We're going to tip it or spin it. I didn't actually use this wire yet because I was using the 10 gauge one. But they're about 64 cents a feet here at the Lowe's, I believe. So they cost me like $3 to do all this, so it wasn't bad. Well, not including all the connectors and everything like that. I think the gold plate connector costs a little bit more. They're like $4 or something like that. But you can get a pack of the silver ones for the same price, and you get a lot more. Okay, so I'm using an 11 one here. You can see here, I almost have it. Unbelievable. That, or I just need a good stripper, huh? A wire stripper. Okay, there we go. Oh boy. You know what it did? It actually eats some of the thread. Now this is what you don't want. You can see here, none of the thread here got damaged. You can see here. Let me see. See here? It's almost cutting into some of the threads here. And this one here, it actually did. It cut it off. That's why I didn't want to use the 11th one. This is what happens. See that? Some of the threads are cut off. So this wire is going to be a little bit shorter now, which is fine. I think we still gave it about an inch, so clearance. So we're going to cut this end off with the good cutter. Okay. There we go. We're going to cut it off, and we're going to respice it again using the appropriate 12 gauge one here. But we're going to do our best to turn it around. There you go. Look how much of a gap that is. That's probably why it's not really cutting thoroughly, because I think there is something. There we go. Now this should actually grip. There was a gap right there, and you shouldn't have that on your spice. That means it's going bad. Like a pair of scissors that are not against each other's. But we'll work with what we have. Okay. Yeah, the idea when you twist it, you're going to start feeling it being so loose, then you could probably start sliding it. In this case, it wasn't that great. So what you can do is pick a pair of pliers now. And remove my hot soldering iron is ready to go. And this is actually a little, just a little M3 sponge. You can clean out your solder before you start. Because what it does, it builds up that little leftover residue. You could probably use the other side too. Smell a little dish soap already. There you go. Just scrape it clean from all the nasty leftover stuff from previous solder jobs. You know, some of the plastic maybe got caught on there, not just the solder itself. Okay, so that one's right there. You don't want to leave it on there, it'll burn it through. Okay, so we're gonna take a pair of, there we go. And we're gonna strip it as much as we can. Wow, this one wire is just giving us more work than we planned. Okay, so here we go. Because it's such a thick insulation, it's almost like fiberglass thick. Let me see if I can do it this way. Take it, chisel it. Wow. Whoa, this is hard. This is hard insulation. I don't want to damage the wire, so see if I can grip it from one thing. Kind of tear it a little bit. Feel like it's tearing. Just a. Okay, there's one thread here came off. Wow, these are just thick. This is probably the kind of wire that you might want to invest in one of those wire. What do you call those? What they do is they even they will cut the wires and then they'll also spice it for you, and they'll pull it. Got a little bit of like retractor. Yeah, this insulation is like made just on there. It's not one of those unbelievable thick. Well, we lost one thread, which is fine. Just one thread, it's not a big deal. But make sure the other ones are good. Okay, so what we're gonna do is twist it around. Maybe a couple threads, really. Actually, we lost 3. You can already tell here. 3 threads. All right, 3 is not a bad number here. Better than the whole shebang. Okay, so we're gonna twist this. Okay, so we got our both ends here. Now we're ready to go ahead and we're gonna get our, let's see where the battery's at now. My meter goes off to sleep. Let's go and set the voltage. Yeah, it's fluctuating. It's still in the repair mode, but it's fluctuating. Never seen a meter did that to it before, so we'll see if the Noco Genius charger can actually fix that. Old battery, 5 years old, recover it. Okay, so what I like to do is, what you want to do is you want to find this smallest insulation. So this one is, I use the green and the black one. The black one is going to be a little thicker, but it covers the, so I'll take one of these, and I'll still take a big black one, I believe, because I need to, actually, you know what? I might get away with this one, maybe. Let's use this one here. See this one? Smaller. So what I do is I don't need, this one will actually cover both ends. So I just need one of these. And what I do is I cut it. Try to cut it for you here. See, just have bad scissors and bad everything. Okay, let me hold it with 2 hands. Okay, here we go. Let's take a pair of scissors. I cut in half. Can use it for 2 pieces now instead of just one. It's kind of in the middle. I'll do one at a time then. There we go. There's one. So I got 2 pieces here. And we'll get another piece here. Just need to protect the connector ends like that. You know, you can use the whole piece too if you want to, preference wise. I'm just a little bit more conservative on that end. Here we go. Now we're ready to go ahead and get our tips. Again, you can go with the The gold plate one, again, these are like $4.99 or something at the auto parts store, and then $4.99 for this one, but you get a lot more with it. So, or you can get like a little kit that comes with a various amount of kit. The only thing I find about those kits is they don't have the sizes you want. They only give you a few of the big ones and maybe a few of these ones, and the rest are ones that you don't use. So I decided just to get the pack that I actually will use most of, and these work great. See, they're for 16 to 14 gauge. They might be a little bit smaller for this application, but we're going to crimp it really good and solder it. Now, soldering is optional. If you got a good crimp on there, you might not even need to solder, but I prefer to do that to all the connection ends. That way I'll have a really good strength, not just from the crimping, but also from the soldering. So what you want to do is you want to put these first, I believe. So let's see if actually this one will even fit over it, because if the black one doesn't fit, yeah, see the black one won't go over this bump. So we're going to need the bigger black one. So that's okay. Save this for another application. Let's go and get the bigger black one. The green ones we'll keep. The black ones we won't. For the small ones, we'll get these two right here. This one's much better. That's why I actually chose this one, not because it just goes over the tip. You can always put last, but you can actually make sure so when you get a good contact like this, see that? I put the green one and then I put the black one. I just cut in half. You could probably just put the black one and be done with it, but I kind of like the 2 layers. There we go. Cut it up. All right, we'll feed it into our wires. One green one here. I think they should stay. Doesn't really matter. You can put it here. I'll meet at the bottom anyway for the other one. Feed this one. Feed this one. And then we'll feed this one right here. Okay, so we'll start. Get these all wind up here. Okay, so there it goes. I also want to put some dielectric grease, so we're going to do that. That's why I forgot to mention you're going to need a lighter. You know, if you have a nice heat gun, you can use a heat gun. I just use a lighter. Recommend it. If you're a pro, you use a heat gun, but if you're just doing it on the fly like me, I'm just going to go ahead and just get my lighter here. Lighter doesn't make the heat evenly. A heat gun does better. So if you do have a heat gun, prefer and use that one instead. So I'm going to use my dielectric grease here. Put that on the tip. I'll do one at a time because I don't want to get the other tip because it's going to be moving around a lot while I'm twisting this in. So get that all in good in the tip. Okay. Now you're going to have to, I'm not sure, I never did this one before on this tip, but I think it might go in perfectly. Let's see. You want to see a little bit more of it coming out the other end. If it doesn't come out the other end still, you try to get much as you can in there. There you go. I'm twisting it in there. There you go. It comes out the other end. This is perfect. If you can get all the way out a little bit more, that's fine too. Okay, that way you can just solder and have the solder melt. So this is good enough right here. And then a lot of people use, depending on the crimper preferred. I prefer sometimes, depending if it's small like this, you might want to use the teeth one to dig in a little bit more into it. Or you can get away with this one right here, the small one. So we'll try both and we'll see, okay? I'm going to try the round one right here, the round teeth. There you can see it on the light, the round teeth, the last one. So let's try that. I kind of place it where, see there's a break point in there. It's not perfectly round. And you want to make sure you get to the edge more, because if you do it here, it's mainly you're going to be crimping plastic and it's going to be useless. So you want to get it right here. See if I can get this in there. You can see how loose this is already. So we might actually use the teeth one, but let's just see how this does, okay? Okay, we're going to go ahead and crimp this one right here from this round one. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Smash it in. Smash it. Look how it's smashed right there, see? What it does is it smashes the wire to the point where this is bulkier, where it can't yank out. So we're using the back one, see? There you go. That's our crimp. And then you want to test it. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. Giving it a good full strength test. Yep, it's good secure right there, so we can use the back one. Now I'm going to show you one with the teeth one will do to the other side, okay? So we're going to apply the same way. Put some dielectric grease. Prepare our tip to make sure it doesn't corrode. Okay, there we go. for another tip. Again, we got already the heat shrink in there already, so that's why we can do it this way. You can't fit the green one afterwards because these things are bulky. You might be able to fit the black one though. Just give it a twist, turn it, just goes right in. Again, you want to make sure not too much because you still want the wire to contact this point just in case this doesn't make contact. Okay, let's go and crimp it the one with the teeth now and see what the difference is. Now you want the teeth to dig into, you can see here, you want the teeth to dig into the metal split right here, okay? So here we go. Curve it around, see the teeth is digging into the metal. You want to bring it out a little bit more to the edge where the front is, right there. Not too much, but out much as you can because you don't want to make sure you're biting the metal and not the plastic housing. Okay, so here we go. This is one with the teeth. Okay, I'm about to go ahead and push it. 1, 2, 3. You can see that's a teeth one. See how it captures one but not the other? I can go ahead and twist this one. See, I can't because the rubber pieces. So I prefer to go back to the round one. Let's go and go to the round one. Okay, there we go. The round one's going to do the same thing now because this is already there. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Smashed. So sometimes the round one works better than it depends on the... Okay. There it goes, smashed in there. This might be a good connection, it might not, I won't see. There we go. This is still a solid connection. But we're going to go ahead and put some soldering on top of it. So let's go and do that. Their soldering gun is hot. And we're going to feed some solder into it. There we go. A lot of people say they put flex or something to help them. I'm going to try it with flex. It's still pretty hot right now. Well, I'll take my screwdriver, get some flex on the end, where flex is like cooking oil, I guess. It's made naturally too. There's some synthetic ones, but see here, I put right there. This is where I want my solder to be. I'll do the other one too, confidently, because I have some flex here left over. You don't have to put too much, just a little bit there.